What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's been a long time, and if I kind of sound kind of weird right now, it's because I've had COVID for like the last week. Now I'm like in the stages of like getting better or whatever, so yeah. Anyways, a lot has happened since the last video. The last video was me working on a truck. The truck is actually running. It's been running for like a month or two or however long it's been. I don't have it over here. It's currently at my dad's house. We took our car over here today because I have to work on my car because this car is broke now. Go ahead and get started in tearing down my Camaro. Right. This is gonna be my first time working on a LS3, so this is definitely gonna be different. And we have my catch can. Let's actually check what this looks like. Nothing crazy. I'm gonna go grab the oil pan so that we can go and pour this out. We can take a look at it. Alright. Turns out I don't have my oil pan over here. I must have left it at my dad's house. So we're just gonna go ahead and pour this in here and just see if we can see anything while we're pouring it out. Okay. Alright. Let's go ahead and throw this back on. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take off this air box, get all this out the way so we have a lot more room to work with. I would drain the fluids first, but I have to wait until I go and get the drain pan from my dad's house. So we're just going to start with the stuff up top. Alright, let's go ahead and loosen these two clamps up. Let's loosen this one up as well. Alright, let's go ahead and turn these. There we go, there's 1, 2, 3. There we go, this top part came off. We're gonna take this off. Let's disconnect this. I believe that's a mass airflow sensor. I could be wrong. There we go. Good. Let's go ahead and take this off. There we go. And let's tighten that back. Next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and pull these plug wires off. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then pull them off of the spark plug. There we go. There's 4 right here. I guess let me go ahead and do it to the other side. Next up, we're gonna get rid of this fuel line. So you just take that little bracket off, and you need to get a tool to be able to do this. This is a 3/8 fuel line disconnection tool, or AC line disconnection tool, whatever. You might also want to discharge the fuel pressure. Let's do that actually. Alright, so to discharge this fuel pressure, take off that little cap that was right there, and I'm putting a rag right here. Yep, look at it. Wasn't a lot, but you know, I'm just gonna put it on like that, and basically you're gonna push to get it off. There we go. Right, let me grab the rag. Dumping fuel everywhere. So yeah, that's how to get your fuel line off. And what you're gonna see me do, because I don't know when I'm gonna be able to bring this head to the shop to get the bolts re-drilled in, like get new threads. So I don't know when I'm gonna be able to do that. So basically I'm just writing on the connections and stuff like that just to make sure I get it right whenever I put it back together. I mean, you don't have to. It's usually everything ends up in the spot, you know, where it's supposed to be at, so it's not that hard to figure out where things go, but I don't know how long the car is going to be down at this rate, so that's why I'm doing that. But basically another reason why I'm taking these heads off is I need to get all of these bolts rethreaded so that way I can actually not have a header leak anymore, because whoever had the car previously put different size bolts in there and it actually screwed everything up for me. So yeah, we gotta take the heads off anyways, and I figure now is the perfect time since the car is starting to making a ticking sound. So yeah, now is the time to actually get all that stuff done. So that's another reason why I'm taking everything apart. But anyways, we're gonna work on getting the coils off now. All right, so next, to get this bracket off that holds the whole coil assembly, it looks like it's 10 millimeter. So you're gonna take all these off. That connects the bracket to the cylinder head or the valve cover, whatever you wanna say it's connected to. And one more back there, we're gonna have to get the ratchet for that. All right. And I'm also putting the bolts in a bag, so that way whenever you go to put everything back together, you know what bolts go where. So this is gonna be coil, driver, side. Coil assembly should come off like that, but now we need to go ahead and take all this off, all these sensors. So let's take it off. There we go. So there's one sensor. Now we got our coil assembly off. I totally forgot to mention, disconnect your battery before you do any of this shit. You gotta take the spare tire shit off to access your battery. I've actually never been down here yet, so this should be interesting. Let's take this up. So you disconnect your negative terminal to the battery. Doesn't matter if you take the positive off. We're gonna go ahead and take the accessory belt off. So this is a 15 millimeter. You're just gonna push down on it, and there you go. Accessory belt is off. Let's go ahead and disconnect this wiring harness. There you go. Yep, that was right. So pull out and then press down on the sensor, and there you go. So that's how you get all of your injector wiring off. I went through and just labeled them 1, 2, 3, 4 just to match them back up with the correct injector. So this would be 1, this would be 2, this would be 3, this would be 4, this would be 5, this would be 6, this would be 7, this would be 8. That's what I'm gonna go with. And anyways, so got our fuel line right here, and it is connected right here. So we need to get that off this little bolt. So perfect. 10 millimeter. There we go. The fuel line is now disconnected. The injectors, they'll come up with the intake because I don't feel like taking all that apart really. So yeah, so we're gonna take off the intake bolts. Those look like 8s if I'm not mistaken. They got a bolt back here, one right here. Hose is in the way. Zip tie them out the way. You know, so far working on this LS, it ain't that bad. I see why people LS swap everything. It's a fucking pretty easy motor to work on. Now let's get this last one right here off. So this is the last one right here. Should be. We'll find out. Let's see if it moves. Yep. Alright, we got it. We got it, boys. Before we take it off, just make sure they don't have any trash or anything that could fall into the intake while we're taking this off, because that wouldn't really be that good. And we're gonna have to get this harness off so that way it's not connected to the fuel injector line. Let's go ahead and take these little clip things that hold the wires. There we go. This needs to come off because if we're pulling the intake out with the throttle body, we can't have this connected. I hated these things because I actually broke one before. Oh, fuck yeah. That was easy. Okay, cool. So that's out the way. We need to disconnect all the injector wiring so that way we can pull this wiring off. And you know what? Let's just go ahead and take this off too as well, because eventually we're gonna have to anyways. And we need to disconnect this, whatever this is. Shit. And this, we'll take this off as well. Boom. Now we can slide our wiring out the way. Okay. Yep. Alright, how is this? Yeah, see? That would have been a bitch to try and get off. Alright, got it off. We're gonna go ahead and take this line off. And this is to the catch can. My GoPro battery died, so anyways, this is where we're still at. I'm gonna go ahead and take this line off that goes towards my intake, so that way we can pull the intake up without it still latching on to something. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna get off. I already loosened this, so I'm gonna just take this and wiggle it back and forth until it comes off. Okay, so we got that off. So next, let's go ahead and take this this line off that goes to your brake booster or whatever. There we go. We have the intake out. This hose that goes to the brakes is kind of in the way when you're pulling it out, so it's going to be a little aggravating, but there we go. Got it out. So this is from the front. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bolts on one side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the other. So those are the bolts you need to take off to get out. And then of course we left the injectors in. I think I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up before we put it back together, but for right now we're done with that. So here it is right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to tape off every single hole so nothing falls in, because you can see there's a lot of leaves and acorns and a lot of oil, it looks like. So we don't want any of that dirt or anything going inside those intake tubes or whatever you want to call it. So we're gonna go ahead, tape them all off, and we'll be good to go. All right, next we're gonna go ahead and take off this valve cover. So they got 1, 2, 3, 4, it looks like 4 bolts that I'm gonna run out, and then that should be able to let us take off this valve cover so we can see the valve train and see what's going on down there. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, let's go ahead and take it off. Ow, yep, that hurt. All right, yep, found it. Oh yeah, that's not that's not supposed to look like that. Oh, I knew something was wrong. Okay, oh shit. Okay, so that's this side. That's what's wrong with this side. Damn, how in the hell? Oh, okay, I see it. Yep. So so the rocker failed. Yep. Wow, that's crazy. Yep, so as you guys can see, we have little bits and pieces. Sorry guys, it's hard to get into here, but you can see little bits and pieces are everywhere. So yeah, we're gonna have to take that apart anyways. I mean, I was planning on doing that anyways because it needed to be done.